Real exciting to be with Brad Mates from Emerson Drive playing tonight at the NMAX in front of the PBR. The PBR kicks off, and just wanted to talk about Emerson Drive. Tell us a little bit about, let's start right at the beginning with growing up in Grand Prairie and the things that went on as a kid.
Sure, yeah. 20 years ago now.
Okay. I'm sorry about this, with all due respect. I just want you to, if you could just slow it down just a little bit, because the people that are going to be hearing this and watching this, they may not understand what you're saying. So just slow it down just a tad, if you don't mind.
We'll do it again, you bet. So 20 years ago, this whole...
Okay. Just, if you don't mind, slow it down just a little bit more so that... Okay, I'm sorry, just try it again.
Sure. 20 years ago when we first started...
Okay, what are you doing? What are you trying to do, ruin the interview? You want to just speed it up just a little bit more?
Okay, 20 years ago when we first started this...
All right, were you speeding up or were you slowing down?
I don't know.
Think, speeding up or slowing down?
Speeding up.
So you do know the difference?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I really want to talk about growing up in Grand Prairie. We're talking 20 years ago. You formed this band. You guys ultimately are still together. How incredible has that ride been for you?
It's amazing. Yeah. You pinch yourself every once in a while to think that something like that out of high school has turned into a career. Most of my friends that I grew up with are still back home working trades or oil and gas business, and I probably should have been doing the same thing. So it's interesting to be the guy that kind of went left wing from that. But again, it's nice to be able to see where everything has gone, and the opportunities you get now to give back to some of the communities that supported the band right from the very beginning, and still to see a great fan base of people that continue to come out and see our show.
Where was that moment, pun intended, where you said, you know what, I think we can make this a career?
You know what, I mean, we talk about this a lot. Back when we were 17, 18, and then finishing high school, we were so young and naive at the time that traveling 300 days out of the year playing bars and clubs wasn't a big deal. Those are the years now when you look back that really made an impact and a difference on where our career was going. So I think it was probably 4 or 5 years into playing bars and clubs and making trips to Nashville once or twice a year, and seeing that people were actually really enjoying our show and music that we were doing. So there was a transition there probably in 99, 2000, 2001 where you could really tell that something was happening. We just didn't realize how far it was going to go and what it was.
Going to Nashville is such a big thing, and you see how they do it down there. That was a big moment for you as well, right?
Yeah, it was always a goal from the start to make a trip down there, and like I said, put showcases on for labels and potentially try and get into the U.S. market. That was just a goal of ours from the start, and a little ambitious, but I think that the amount of times that we went there and got feedback from people, good criticism, it only helped build off of our music and the direction that we were going at that time.
What are some of the big things that you learn as a kid on the road 300 days a year? What are some of the lessons you get, because that's invaluable?
Yeah, I think the most important thing out of all that, the years that we traveled together in the beginning, was just learning how to live with one another and dealing with personalities that are different from day to day. That to me is the most important part of being a group and a band, is respecting one another's space and learning how to live, day after day on the road with one another.
And that kind of translates into a family life too, doesn't it? What you do with the kids, with your wife.
Yeah, it's interesting now. Things are quite a bit different. I'm the only one in the group that has kids, so that dynamic for me has changed. We're not on the road, a whole lot like we used to be. I've been able to give back to my family over the last 5 years, where I probably wouldn't have been able to in my 20s. So I'm thankful that we had a lot of great years from when we first got signed, for 8-9 years. Now we can continue to play a handful of shows a year, and I can be a father and a husband at the same time.
And you guys took a little time off before you did your latest album, which was a blessing in a lot of ways, because you were able to sit down, concentrate on the writing aspect of it. So I'm sure there's great improvement from day one to what you've got now.
Yeah, it's funny to look back on some of the stuff that we wrote when we were 16, 17 years old. My parents have that stuff down in their basement.
I got a pimple.
Yeah, yeah. Locked in a safe. Like I listen to it maybe every third year when I'm home. But you know, those are the growing times, and if you don't go through that stuff and learn what's right or wrong about writing a song, you don't get better. So.
I love what you guys did when you were here a couple years ago. Your old member of the band, Chris Hartman, who teaches over at St. Francis School,
Yeah.
got his kids on stage at the Yates to do one of your songs. That it was so special for them, I know. So special for Chris, and I'm sure it meant something to you too.
Absolutely. The years that you know, Chris and I grew up together, went to school together, and then started the band together. You pick right back up when you don't see each other as much as we used to. The idea, you know, was very simple over the phone, where I knew going into it that it was going to be done very professionally. When we showed up and did rehearsal, the whole group came up on stage. We played it once or twice, and we were good to go. So, you know, hats off to Chris, obviously, for being such a pro at what he does, and one of the best musicians that I still consider on the road after all these years.
And he's just a teacher.
Yeah, much more. My wife's a teacher too, so I can't really downplay that too much.
Right, being this big cabaret tonight in front of the PBR crowd, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, this is kind of the kickoff to our touring season. So to get back on the road again, playing new music off the new album, lots of songs folks have heard over the last 12 years, and again, just kind of getting back into our swing of things on the road. Anything
We're surprised about when you play?
You know what, I've always kind of been a fan, obviously, of being in front of a crowd and playing live over the years. Lots of people love being in the studio and creating the music. The live thing for me has always been big. So we worked on a few things over the last couple weeks, you know, songs that were in our set list years and years ago that we kind of pulled back in. And have always gotten a great reaction out of people over the years. So that's always been our goal, is to make sure when people walk away from our show, even if they've seen us a handful of times, that they want to come back again, you know. That's the goal.
Great pleasure. Thanks for doing the stuff you did with me. All right, very good. Thanks very much. That was fun. I appreciate it. Thanks.